I went to Binghamton University for 2 years, and during that time I made a decent-sized friend group. Most weekends were the same: parties, late-night food, movies in someone's dorm. But this one night in October, changed the way I feel about the woods forever. It was a Friday. Not a party night for us. Just me and 2 close friends, Ryan and Jacob. We didn't want to deal with crowds, so Ryan suggested we hang out at the nature preserve behind the campus, right by the lake. There was a spot deep in the woods, a clearing on the far side of the lake that almost nobody else knew about. Students sometimes went there to smoke or drink, because it was far from the walking trails and even farther from campus security's usual patrols. It was quiet, isolated, and felt totally disconnected from the rest of the world. Which is exactly why this story still scares me. We got there around 10 p.m. The sky was cloudy, and the trees were barely visible silhouettes. Ryan gathered some dry wood, we lit a small fire, and sat around it drinking cheap beers and talking about nothing. It felt like one of those perfect fall nights, cold enough that the fire felt good, but not freezing. The lake behind us was completely still, reflecting little bits of orange from our fire. Time passed quickly. The beers went down faster than they should have. At one point, Jacob was laughing so hard he rolled backward into the leaves, holding his stomach. We were loud. Loud enough that we didn't hear the first branch snap. It was Ryan who stopped laughing first. "Shoo, hold on." We all froze. There it was. The unmistakable sound of leaves crunching. Slow, deliberate. Like someone placing each step carefully. None of us said anything. We all had the same thought. Campus police. We were all under 21, the beers were obvious, and getting caught meant trouble. "We should kill the fire," Jacob whispered. But before we moved, another sound came. Closer. A branch snapped loud. Not a twig. A thick, heavy branch. My stomach dropped. Campus security never went this deep into the wood. Hardly any students even knew about this spot. So who the hell was out there? We quickly threw the remaining bottles into the lake, an instinctive reaction from panic, and pushed the backpack of beers under some leaf. But the footsteps didn't move away. Instead, they circled us. Slowly. We couldn't see anything past the glow of the fire, but whatever or whoever it was, wasn't trying to sneak. It was letting us know it was there. Jacob whispered, "It's like walking a half circle around us." It was true. We would hear crunching on the left. Then silence. Then behind us. Then off to the right. We were surrounded by darkness, completely blind to anything outside the fire's reach. It felt like being watched from every direction at once. For a while, we tried to laugh it off, but the sound kept getting closer. Then, out of nowhere, thud. A large branch landed directly in the center of our fire circle, scattering sparks. Jacob screamed and stumbled backward. I felt my whole body go cold. Someone had thrown that. Someone strong. Ryan grabbed the backpack. "Go. Now." Before we could even stand fully, another branch came flying out of the darkness. And this one hit Jacob across the side of his face. He dropped instantly, grabbing his cheek and yelling. That snapped us into action. We pulled him up and ran. We didn't talk. We didn't look back. We just ran, blind, crashing through the dark woods, following the faint memory of the trail. My chest was tight, my legs burning, lungs on fire. But the terror kept pushing us forward. When we reached the edge of the preserve, the woods thinned out. Campus lights were visible through the trees. We stopped for a moment to catch our breath. But then we heard it. Footsteps. Fast ones. Coming out of the woods toward us. We didn't wait. We sprinted across the grass, across the road, all the way to our dorm building. Jacob was already in his room, pressing ice to his cheek, when Ryan pulled back the blinds to see if anything was outside. And that's when we saw him. A figure, tall, thin, pacing along the tree line. Every time a car drove by, he slipped back into the shadows. Then came out again when the road was quiet. He didn't come closer. Just watched. He stayed there for almost 10 minutes. Then eventually disappeared back into the woods. We talked for hours that night, fueled by adrenaline and leftover fear. In the moment we joked about it, trying to convince ourselves it wasn't as bad as it felt. But the next morning, when we sobered up, when we saw Jacob's bruised cheek, when we walked past the trail entrance and saw how far in we had been, that's when it truly hit us. Someone was out there. Someone strong enough to throw branches with force. Someone who circled us silently for minutes. Someone who followed us back toward campus. And the scariest part? We never saw his face. We never even heard him speak. We stopped going to the preserve at night. And to this day, when I walk by that lake, I still get the feeling that someone is standing just inside the tree line, watching, waiting, hidden in the same darkness that once surrounded us.